Hello there, ladies and gents. Andrew Griffiths here again in our theme for this month of clarity, where we've spoken about how to really kind of hone your idea for your book down, about research around making sure that you're crystal clear on that central premise and going deep rather than broad, doing research about other non-fiction works in general to understand what trends are, etc. The last part of this conversation that I want to have is that if you're the authority or you're the expert writing this book, how do you make sure that you position yourself well? How do you show that you are the person to write that book? And it's often done quite badly. Either it's done not enough, and so the author feels quite wishy-washy, and it's very vagary, or the author goes the other way. They try too hard to sell you on their experience and their expert status, and reaches a point where we start to lose confidence in them because it feels like they're a used car salesperson. I remember reading a book recently, and I was up to chapter 5, and they were still trying to convince me about why I needed to read this book. And it was like, well, I've got it, I bought it, I'm reading it. Chapter 5, I'm losing interest. So we've got to kind of showcase that we're that expert and ways that we can do that. So obviously sharing story is a big part of it. Our story throughout the book, story that's relevant and story that makes sense. What's your uniqueness? Show your relevance to the topic, the things that you've learned, the things that you've achieved. And that can cover a broad range of areas, but it's really, that's a big part of it. When you think about it, working at the moment with a lady, a naturopath, and I just was reading in her materials talking about she's done 20,000 face-to-face, consults. Now, that's a big deal, right? When you think a bit about that. I talk about, my experience over the years. You build that kind of credibility piece. You've got to also then be able to kind of showcase and explain what makes your information, your knowledge different. And if you can't really clearly define what makes that different, or what makes your kind of work unique and your book unique, then it's easy for it to feel like, well, it's just another kind of book. And that's why writing a book and doing this exercise is actually very helpful for you, for all of us, in really clarifying our business in more ways than just actually writing the book as well. Obviously, again, things like testimonials from others, forewords. You might want to have a foreword from an authority that knows you, that shines a light on you. I think that really helps. When I have testimonials in my books, I have testimonials about me, not about the book. My view is they probably already got the book. The testimonials need to say that I'm kind of the real deal as well. So you've got to kind of be able to showcase all of that, that shows throughout the book, not just in the first 3 or 4 pages, that you are actually an expert on this topic and you are an authority on this topic and you are the right person to write this book. Don't oversell yourself, but don't undersell yourself as well. And that's where, again, working with a good book writing coach, an editor, etc., they'll help to do that. And I think, again, you know what I mean when I talk a bit about making it, making the reader kind of lose confidence in you through language or lack of that kind of credibility piece in there. So anyway, that's a little bit of thinking there again. It kind of ties this series together around getting our clarity around our idea, doing that deeper dive. If you've done all the things I've talked about in these videos throughout this month, I tell you what, your book idea will be a lot sharper than it probably was when you started out. All right. Thanks very much, folks. Andrew Griffiths, over and out for now.